It is now my great pleasure to introduce our next speaker, one of Congress's strongest supporters of advanced manufacturing and clean energy manufacturing, U.S. Congressman Chuck Fleischmann of Tennessee. Congressman Fleischmann represents the 3rd District of Tennessee and is a member of the House Appropriations Committee, serving on its Energy and Water Subcommittee. His district includes Oak Ridge National Lab, which is a critical core partner in DOE's Clean Energy Manufacturing Initiative. And in fact, Congressman Fleischmann was with us at the very launch of the Clean Energy Manufacturing Initiative in Oak Ridge back in March of 2013, where together we cut the ribbon on an exciting new carbon fiber technology facility, a new carbon fiber pilot production R&D facility at the lab's manufacturing demonstration facility. Before his tenure in the House of Representatives, Congressman Fleischmann ran a small business in Chattanooga, Tennessee for 24 years after graduating from law school at the University of Tennessee. So he understands what it takes for U.S. business to compete in the global economy. In developing a strong personal relationship with Congressman, it has become abundantly clear to me that he is all in for supporting U.S. manufacturers as they innovate and invent and manufacture globally competitive advanced technologies right here at home. Ladies and gentlemen, Congressman Chuck Fleischmann.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary, and good morning, everyone. It's great to be a Tennessee volunteer. I am a graduate of the University of Tennessee Knoxville School of Law. I understand Chad Holliday, who you just heard, is also a graduate of that fine institution. I see my colleague, Congressman Tonka, here, and I don't know if any of my other colleagues are here, but it's always great to be here and represent the United States House of Representatives. We've heard from the administration, we've heard from folks in the private sector. We're very busy this week, but it's always great to be with you all. I want to first start by thanking Secretary Moniz. We heard from Ernie this morning. I was elected to Congress in 2010. In 2011, I began to serve, and right after my first term, I was very privileged to be appointed to the House Appropriations Committee, more specifically the Energy and Water Subcommittee of the House Appropriations Committee, which is very involved in what we're talking about today. My district is an East Tennessee district. It spans from Chattanooga in the south, Chattanooga, the greatest mid-sized city in America, doing so well. But it has a very special city, Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is such a special place, and I'm going to talk about that in a little bit. But Ernie Moniz stepped up when he was appointed as secretary and basically said, I want to establish a relationship. And Ernie, I want to thank you and your entire staff. You have reached out. We have worked so well at a time when many people in America think that Congress and the administration are not working well together. Let me assure you, Secretary Moniz and I and other members in the House and Senate are working very well. We're collaborating together. We're working well together. And I think some of the things I'm going to talk about today are proof positive of that. So Ernie, thank you very much for doing that. Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge is a very special place. The birthplace of the Manhattan Project. It's a place where we really, I think, won the Cold War. But there's a very special place there called the Oak Ridge National Laboratory, ORNL for short. I'm a big fan of the national labs, but I'm very passionate and candidly very biased in favor of ORNL. ORNL has a very special place there. It's called the Manufacturing Demonstration Facility. And literally, it's the only place of its kind in the world. It's a place where business leaders from all over the country can come there and solve problems. I'm going to tell you how important this is. I meet with global leaders. Sometimes it's somebody from their executive branch. It might be a prime minister. It might be someone from their legislators. We meet with them on a regular basis. And the world is a very competitive place. There's no doubt about it. Leaders in these countries, like leaders in our countries, want their countries to move forward. And I so fervently and passionately want America to move forward and to get greater and greater and greater. And if we're going to do that, we're going to have to do that with things like advanced manufacturing. And this Oak Ridge facility is tremendous. I talked about Chattanooga. Chattanooga's booming. It is literally booming. We've gotten Volkswagen, we have business pouring in. Tennessee is a great state to do business in right now. But I brought a bunch of business leaders, civic leaders, few engineers, up to Chattanooga. Up from Chattanooga to Oak Ridge. And they saw what we're doing at the manufacturing demonstration facility. And it was wow. I even brought some of our friends from the Fourth Estate, who tend sometimes not to be as kind to me as I'd like. Yeah. But they loved it. And what did we talk about? My gosh, right here at ORNL in East Tennessee, under the direction of Tom Mason, and I think Tom is here today, I saw him this morning. Tom, I want to thank you and your team. You've done an exemplary job. But we went there, and it was like, my gosh, I can't believe that these questions are being answered, this manufacturing is being done, literally putting America at the leading edge, not the cutting edge, at the leading edge of American manufacturing. Want to talk about the Tennessee Advanced Business Council. Dr. Mason, you brought a lot of folks up here today. I would be remiss if I didn't talk about our carbon fiber initiative as well. It's incredible. As you all know, PAN, which is the basic feed source for carbon fiber, is more expensive. And literally, we are working there to develop feedstocks that are going to be less expensive, like lignin, to get us to the next level. And about 50 companies nationwide have joined in on this. So if you build it, they will come, and when they come, they will learn and they will lead. And we're seeing that firsthand. Dave Danielson was very kind to say those very nice things about me. Dave's done a lot. He has come in, and the tone again, and I give Ernie credit for this, of the entire Department of Energy has been one of cooperation. And that extends to the assistant secretaries as well. Dave has not only come into Oak Ridge, he's come to Chattanooga, which was very important to me. But Dave and I recently, about 6 months ago, went up to actually sign an agreement. And he signed an agreement between some companies that I want to talk about. It was Cincinnati Incorporated. This is a 115-year-old company. And he basically signed that between Oak Ridge National Labs, Cincinnati Inc., and Local Motors. And what we saw there that day was 3D printing. It was amazing. I'd never seen anything like that in my life. Now, I come from a political science, history, law background. That's what I did before I came to Congress. But when I actually saw these 3D printers actually making chairs and things like that, it was amazing. But just about a couple of weeks ago, about 100,000 people saw something that was amazing. This company that they signed this agreement with did the first 3D automobile. Now imagine that. A car actually created by 3D printers, and by the time that they finished this at the car show in Chicago, with over 100,000 people watching this car actually rolls off the line and works. That's amazing. That's the future in our country, and that's just astounding. So this is the kind of thing that I really think that Congress and the administration, the private sector can all work together, and you all are going to be a big part of that. And that's why I think it's so important that you come to these summits and conferences, because not only do you learn what we're doing, we learn what you're doing, and that helps us do our job as we legislate in this country. I'm going to say this. This electric vehicle was called the Strati, and it was done by using something called direct digital manufacturing. Now, I wish I could be with you at lunch. I understand, Representative, that I'm going to be presiding today over a rather important vote. They always pick me to be in the chair on the tough votes, I guess. But go to the lunch. There's going to be a special surprise for you all. And I know you're going to really, really like that. Let me close by saying, please have a great conference. Continue to work together. Continue to learn. Continue to collaborate. And continue to believe in America. I don't care what side of the aisle you stand on. I serve with people on both sides of the aisle. I interact with people on both sides of the aisle. America is great. There's no question about it. But America's tomorrow is going to be greater and brighter, and it's going to be because of things like advanced manufacturing. There's no question about it. We are the future right now. So as we go out and as we compete globally, Let's all work to not only keep America #1, but let's make a brighter future for all involved. Thank you very much, and God bless you all.